They can say, so Chrissy's crazy. She lives in a world that she designs.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to So Chrissy. It is the third episode. I cannot believe we're already on the third episode. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you for listening actively. I really can't wait to just keep diving in every week with all the topics. It's fun planning these shows. Today's going to be a great episode. And again, one size does not fit all. So if someone's telling you that, they're lying. But I'm from Philly. If you don't already know, I like sports. I like sewing. I like overthinking. I like teaching. I like being a mom. These are the things that make me who I am, but I wouldn't be here without my amazing family and friends. Super excited to have them listening all the time too. Thank you again for tuning in. Let's just get into it. All the things, right? So we left off last week talking about the Super Bowl, the Olympics coming up. So now the Olympics are over. The Super Bowl happened. I just want to really quick dive into Bad Bunny. He is on fire. He was so hot. I have never found that man attractive. I don't know why. Maybe it's his hair. I don't know. I'm more of like a Pitbull vibe kind of girl, but he is so hot. Like his performance was literally a play. It felt like I was watching a Broadway show on a Super Bowl field. It was so magnetic, so much positive energy. I love how he represented all the businesses, the culture, just, oh my God. And Lady Gaga's outfit, so amazing. I really want to say though, I love all things weddings since I'm in the wedding industry. I am obsessed that they had a wedding literally on the Super Bowl field on the day of the Super Bowl. The most exciting thing about the Super Bowl was Bad Bunny and the wedding and Lady Gaga. Everything else was the most boring Super Bowl I've ever watched. Some of the commercials were great. There were a few, but nothing beat the Super Bowl halftime show this year. Love how much positive press it brought to Puerto Rico and all of America. It was just unbelievable. As my daughter would say, it was slay. It's slayed. I'm so not into that word and she keeps using it. It's driving me bananas. But also the Olympics, right? Oh my gosh. I'm sitting on my couch. I'm sad it's over because I literally was sitting on my couch, just eating snacks, drinking wine, and judging every figure skater, every ski jump, every new activities that were happening at the Olympics, which there were some couple weird ones. But overall, these athletes, all the players on the hockey team, the girls and the men's hockey teams, which amazing that they won the golds. But they're so disciplined. And it just reminds me of how disciplined we have to be when we're sewing and being creative too, because it is hard work, just like these athletes. I mean, on a different level, but it's very similar. I'm really proud of the way the Americans performed. I feel really bad for our figure skater on the men's side. He nailed his back flips, which were amazing, or his flips. But, he fell a bunch of times. What is it? Mulinin, something like that is how you say his name. I'm terrible at names. He was adorable. I really wish he had a better run this Olympics, but he is amazing. And no one will forget that. That was just one bad outing, right? So really proud of all of our Olympic teams. Really great energy again for our whole country. I love, love, love that the girls hockey team, after winning the gold, instead of going to the White House, is going to have dinner with Flavor Flav in Las Vegas. I cannot wait for these pictures to hit the internet. If they already have, I haven't seen them. Please share. Please share. I'm all about it. Again, if you like my podcast, please like and follow and share with your friends. I'm trying to build my viewership. So just a little reminder of that. Let's just get into some other things. It is Oscar time, right? The Golden Globes happened. I'm not really, I used to be really big into the Oscars and all the movies and the Golden Globes and the award shows. I just haven't had the time in my life lately. But this season, I was like, you know what? I want to get into it a little bit. And I didn't know where to start. So actually at the Super Bowl, I had a friend over and she was like, did you see if I had legs, I would kick you? And I was like, no. And I was like, oh, wait, but that's the Oscar movie buzz. And she won the Golden Globe. Rose Byron won the Golden Globe, right? For Best Actress. So she doesn't have kids. And she's like, Chrissy, I had to watch it in clips. I couldn't take it. All you hear is a screaming kid the entire movie. And she, again, does not have children. She was like, I have to turn this movie off and come back to it. So she had to watch it in clips. I was like, okay. I don't know if I want to watch this movie now. Now I'm like intimidated. Is it going to make me feel even worse about myself as a mother? You know, all that mom guilt, it's real. I watched this movie. It is a little fucked up. I'm just going to be frank. It is. It's a little messed up. But I get where she was going. But I'm like watching this movie. I feel like this on a regular basis. I don't do the things that she's doing in this movie because, like, I don't have as many challenges as this mother had and the character that Rose played. But man, does my day feel like that sometimes. So for all the moms out there, it's a really great, relatable movie. Kind of reminds you of how much stress a mom can go through, and you don't know what they're kind of going through on the inside sometimes. And it really highlights that. And, you know, I know a lot of amazing moms out there that have moments like that. And it was I mean, maybe not as crazy as some of those moments that actually happened, but, you know, it's to me, it wasn't more about the reality, is more of like your mental capacity sometimes, right? Really great movie. Really good Oscar buzz. But there, like, even at the Golden Globes, there's so many great shows and movies this year. I'm really digging Apple TV. I don't know if any of you have Apple TV and are watching. I mean, everybody watched Ted Lasso, right? That was like the biggest hit or first big hit probably for Apple TV. The Morning Show was another one. And The Studio with Seth Rogen. That is amazing. I really love that show so much. I cannot wait for it to come back. What I'm really, really, really excited about is Shrinking right now. So I love therapy. I love going to my therapist. I think she is the best human in the world. She is amazing. I think everybody should go to therapy a few times. Really, it's all about self discovery. But Shrinking as a show just pulls all of the connections of real life that are just happening in everybody's life. Like, you know, different capacities, different ways, but it really just pulls everybody's energy, what they're dealing with, issues, problems, death, happiness, sadness, children, family. So all these therapists, right? If you don't know about Shrinking, it's a group of therapists. And the head therapist is, oh my God, I'm so blanking right now, Harrison Ford. He plays like this old grandpa therapist that has Parkinson's disease. He's diagnosed like in the beginning of the first season, like the very beginning. I'm not ruining any surprises, but he plays like this really grumpy old man who like hates everybody but loves everybody inside. Everybody's trying to break through his hard shell, but he's really a softie. He's super great. But they're all therapists in his office, and they're all navigating life and all the things. It is such a good show, puts the seriousness into it, but it also has the humor and the funniness of getting through it. So it's like they have the serious breakdown, right? And what real parents go through, real kids go through. And then it's this funny highlight about how they move through it and like get over it. It's pretty cool. And they don't do it in a way that's cheesy. I can't explain it, but it's all the fuck ups, all the good things. It's great. So if you haven't watched it, give that a check because it is super, super fun. And Jason Segel is amazing because his grief energy the entire time and trying to be a parent and trying to be a therapist, uh, it's being like really, real human. Like the show's so human. I love all the Apple shows right now. They're probably some of my favorites. So if you haven't really got into Apple, I highly recommend. I think it's got the better shows than Netflix on it right now. So tap in and get watching Shrinking. If you love it, please comment why you love it. What the other show, what is it called? I really love too on Apple. Platonic. That has Seth Rogen and Rose Byron in it. And she is also amazing. Going back to the Oscars about Rose Byron too, fun fact, she plays the mom in Bluey, which also makes me love her for that Oscar movie because it's like the same but polar opposites of the world of what she plays. And then in Platonic, she plays a mom too, with Seth Rogen as her best friend from college. And she just plays that role so well of like a chaotic mom, like navigating life, whether it's in Bluey, whether it's in the Oscar movie or in the Platonic. It's really good. And it's another great show on Apple. Really nailing it if you haven't seen it. Just like in life and in all the drama and the nostalgia of TV, acting with it emotional, I want to transition into talking about sewing and the tension of sewing, right? Because using your tension wheel is a lot like your life wheel. Let's get into it. So, when we talk about tension, right? It's emotional. It's a bad word. But in sewing, it's about the movement of a stitch through a garment. Just like we have tension through different points of our life, we always try to be even. We don't want to have too much or too little. We want to be patient. We want to guide ourselves through life. We never want that tension tight. We don't want it too loose either sometimes. It really depends on the relationship you're building with your sewing machine to really work out your tension, because you need to know how your machine, and all machines react a little differently sometimes. And I also name my machine because when I'm having tension with her, or we're having some issues, I like to talk her through it. I feel like she needs that balance. Like when I'm having issues with my daughter, my husband, my friends, my family, nothing's perfect. We all have our moments in life. We all cause tension. We all create tension sometimes. We all release tension. Think about that as you're thinking about your fabric. Stitches. When you have a stitch, some stitches need width, some stitches don't. Some stitches need more tension, some stitches need less tension. It all depends on your machine and your fabric and what you're creating in that moment. The same in life, right? If you can get a perfect balance of your stitches when you're using the same consistent fabrics, you try not to change it and you just keep that path going. And all in all, it's been working, it's been working, it's been working. And then all of a sudden, sometimes it's not working and you're like, what the F happened? You're like, what did my machine do? All these things. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to walk you through the different kinds of reasons why your tension might have issues in life and your machine and your fabric. Really cool things about sewing. There's all these like different components that seem overwhelming when you first begin to sew. Last week, we talked about threading. This week, we're talking about tension. We're going to get comfortable with these. You can't break your machine to a point where it's unusable. I mean, unless you throw it across the room and you have Hawk-like energy and muscles, you're not going to break it. Take a deep breath, let go of your attention to the machine, and let's dive in on some of the great ways to look at your machine in a different way and a new light so you feel more comfortable moving these little buttons and wheels that are on your sewing machine. Every machine has tension. It could be somewhere. It could be on the threader. When you loop it down and around, it's usually there. It could be up on a little wheel by where you top of where you thread your machine. It could be on the side of the machine. Really use your book to know where your tension is and your stitch width. Sometimes your stitch width is actually on the stitch knobs. It really just depends on your sewing machine. I've always said your sewing machine book is your best friend when you're sewing, because it will also teach you how to troubleshoot some of these things. So let's release this tension and think about it. The most important thing I want to tell you when you start sewing is test fabric. Use a scrap of fabric that you cut out to test your fabric width, stitch, length, and tension, and make sure it looks great. If it is threaded right and your bobbin is incorrectly, the needle thread and the bobbin thread should work happy together and have really great vibes and be a perfect little stitch. I'll show you what a perfect little stitch looks like. You'll see it in the picture coming up. And when that perfect stitch happens, you could just keep going and going and going until for some reason that stitch is not working anymore. Sometimes your bobbin runs out. Sometimes the needle gets dull. Sometimes your machine can come unthreaded a little bit. So you really just want to focus on what those main issues are. And you troubleshoot. You're testing your fabric again. You're testing it and your stitch looks great. Everything's working. You're good to go to your project. What do you do if it isn't? Just like in life, when we have this tension, it's not working, you got to pause and talk to your therapist about it, or your friend or your mom. Sometimes you talk to yourself, whatever makes you happy. We're going to talk to the machine. We're going to look at the machine and we're going to ask her, what is going on? It's threaded right, then we're good. The bobbin's in right and it's not in backwards and it's threaded all through your little bobbin area perfectly, then you're good. You pull your bobbin thread up into to the needle and it's in the back of the machine and it's pulling and gliding very easily. You are all good. But something's still not working. What's happening? Is your needle dull? Check your needle. If your needle's dull, it won't stitch right because it's having a hard time to get through the fabric, especially if your fabric is thick. And don't forget, you also might need different needle sizes. Look at what your needle size is made for. It could be a denim needle. It could be a silk needle. It could be a quilting needle. It could be an embroidery needle. Whatever you need, there's different weights to needles. So make sure that you have the right needle to get through that fabric. And then also make sure that it's not dull. It's a brand new needle. Like in an embroidery machine, I probably go through a needle a project just because you really want to make sure those stitches are it's going so fast, it gets dull. So depending on your machine and what you're using, really, really change your needles. I don't think anybody changes their needles enough. I'll tell you, when I first started sewing, I used the same needle for a year and then wondered why my stuff would get pulls in it. It's because the needle is so dull, it's not going through the fabric. Like, think if you're using a dull kitchen knife. You wouldn't use a dull kitchen knife to cut a turkey on Thanksgiving, right? Don't use a dull needle to sew through fabric. Simple as that. Then, if your things aren't still working, right, think about other things. What else could be wrong? Sometimes you're sewing a lot and your fabric is a material. That material puts off, residue, dandruff, whatever, it puts off dust and stuff into the air. That gets stuck in your machine. So even when it goes through all the looping, it goes through the tension that is inside the machine and through the bobbin. So you really want to just get some canned air and make sure you're cleaning your machine. If you're also seeing your tension's good, all this is good, but you're still seeing mess ups in your stitch. So just be really comfortable with that. We all need to clean things up in our life sometimes to get this tension out. So, be self-aware of yourself and your machine. Remember, your machine is here. If you like sewing, it's a hobby. I want your relationship with your machine to be relaxing. I want you to be able to work through the problems. I want you to know what to do and what steps to think about so that you get the result that you're looking for, because there's nothing more frustrating than sitting down at a sewing machine and not being able to get the results that you want. I'm teaching a sewing class right now, and there's somebody struggling with the machine. You got to remember to trigger the steps in your head to get the process started properly. Threading is hugely important. Your bobbin in right, hugely important. And the tension and the stitch width, hugely important. If all these things are not perfect for what project you're working on, then that's when you're going to run into the issues. And that's when that tension starts, not only for you, but for your machine. So make sure that you take the time to do a test fabric so you don't ruin the project you started with and then upset yourself even more. When I think about like tension in the fabrics, the thicker the fabric, the less tension you're going to need. The thinner, like not dense, more tension you're going to need to add to your machine. It's really a test and a balance to find out how your machine relates to that fabric. When it's all threaded, clean, don't forget to oil also your machine. Your booklet will tell you all of the maintenance care you need for your sewing machine. Don't forget to also maintenance care yourself. That's always what's important to Sew Chrissy. So I want you to remember that it is a relaxing hobby to sew. And I want you to feel comfortable doing it. And I want you to be able to sit down at your sewing machine and put everything away, go for it. The confidence to get started. It's okay to mess up on your projects. It's okay to not be perfect in every stitch, but I really want you to know how to troubleshoot properly so that when you get started, you keep sewing, because this hobby is to help you relax. Relaxing is so important. Like, I'm a ADHD all over the place woman. Love my life. I love being creative. When I sit down to sew, it takes me to a place of happiness and joy. Sometimes if it's not, then I walk away from it. I don't want you to sew when you're in that mood, when your tension is tight because of the machine. Sometimes you might be having a bad day and you need a glass of wine and not a sewing machine. Know yourself and know those limits. That way you can use the machine for joy and not anxiety, tension, and stress. Right? Like painting. Sometimes I don't even want to sew. I'll just you know what? I want to paint something today because that's fun. And sometimes that can cause me stress too, but most of the time it doesn't. There's less thought process into painting for me just because I'm doing it as hobby. But think about all of the things that you can put into your hobby and make sure they make you happy. So that way your tension is helping you release and walk through the world in a happy place. And your machine is along with the ride with you and not fighting against you. Don't pull your stitches and distort the fabric because your tension is wrong. It will do all of those things. It'll pucker it. It'll distort it. If your tension's too tight, if it's too loose, it won't stay together. Nothing holds it better but balance. The balance of the tension for the fabric. That's how you're going to walk through life with your sewing machine and making a happy hobby and not a tense hobby. So remember, Get your stitches looking cute. Enjoy the hobby. Be a creative, peaceful queen that you are and that I am. And we'll enjoy it together, tension free. All right, going right into it. So, a lot of us creative people, you're listening to this, right? I have to tell you, I had an aha moment. It's all kind of encompassed of tension, and that's why I want to talk about it. I went to my annual physical, with your doctor. You go every year, you get blood work. I'm 47. I need to do that. I was on Zoloft for the past 20 years. I've been taking 50 milligrams, which my doctor tells me is the starter dose. So cool beans. It's the starter dose. Whatever. I felt fine on it. She looked at me and was like, I think you should go up. She goes, I can tell you're tense. You're telling me about your work craziness and your life craziness. I think you should go up. She was like, what are you trying to do in life? I was like, you know what? I'm almost 50. I just want to do the things that I always said I wanted to do before I'm 50. And part of that balance, I don't want to lose anything of what I'm already doing. Like I got to incorporate it into what I'm doing. This podcast, for instance, is something that I've always wanted to do for the past 3 years. Sewing and teaching. I started doing that a couple years ago because I really wanted to do that and I love doing it. But there's a bunch of other things that I want to do too. So I'm trying to put all this on my life without adding stress. My work life balance has been a little crazy. I think I'm intentionally making it crazy. I think because I'm letting it overcome me and cause tension in my life. My aha moment was when she was like, well, why don't you just go up to 100 milligrams of Zoloft and see how you feel? I do. And this is Valentine's Day weekend because Valentine's Day also happened while we were away. So I did. I went from 50 to 100 milligrams and I feel great. I know there's a lot of people out there that are anti-med, anti-vax, anti-prescription, whatever. I'm in the middle with that stuff because it's like, oh, just a pill for everything. Yeah, I get it. But I'm getting older and people just keep wanting to throw pills at me and I don't want to take them. So I'm trying to be more healthy and I'm trying to be more responsive and happier at work, like all the things. My aha moment is I start taking these 100 milligrams and I'm with all my friends and I just feel so much lighter. So when did I stop feeling that way? How many years ago should I have started taking 100 milligrams over 50, right? So my aha moment is I don't think we listen to our bodies enough, but I think we also change. And I can relate that to like music. Growing up in high school, I hated Green Day. Like, listen to me whine. I hated it then. When it first came out, the Dookie album, I was like the biggest hater. But now I'm nostalgic about it and I freaking love it. I hear that and it makes me happy and it brings me joy. But now with the pill and taking 100, it's like the same thing. It's like, it just makes me happy. So I'm taking it. It's been a couple weeks now and I just can't believe the difference. And I just want everybody to take a mental note and say to yourself, do I need something? Because it's okay. I think sometimes people get so judgy. I think too, like we're that last generation of people that our parents, my mom, like, it's like, therapy, no, you don't need that. You're weak if you need that. No, therapy is a real thing. My daughter will happily go to therapy if I feel like she needs it or if she's ready or needs to, because we need outlets to let people know these things, but also because, life is complicated and we're unpacking things, we're listening to things, our moods change, our tastes change. Again, I hated Green Day and now I love it. But also even like certain fabrics, like I used to love overalls and then I hated them and now I love them again. So we have the right to change and need different things, like different things. We really forget to take care of ourselves. So I think that you just have to realize that yes, you can take care of yourself. You can change your music. You can like something that you didn't like. That's okay. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to help your mind develop. It's okay to move forward. It's okay to move back. But I want everybody to make sure that as you're growing and developing, you're looking at all the areas of your life to help you be the best version of yourself and don't roll out medication because I'm like shocked about how much it changed and how much better I feel over the past few weeks. As my aha moment of the week, it's okay to like things you didn't. It's okay to take more of medication that you didn't think you needed. It's okay to like different outfits and fabrics and change your tune about all the things. Just do what's right for you in your current moments. And don't forget to take care of yourself. It's okay. I know sometimes us moms, we just put everybody else ahead of ourselves, our jobs, the things we like to do. So as my almost 50-year-old self is doing, and my vision board, like I talked about from my first episode, I am putting myself in front of all the things that I need to do for myself this year, trying to align my whole life in a balanced rhythm because I'm a Libra and my sign is scales and balance. And when I feel off balance, my tension is insane. So we talked about a lot of crazy things this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Between the chaos of the Olympics and the Super Bowl and the excitement and the discipline of the athletes, get out that sewing machine, start a project, make sure you test your tension and all your sewing threads, make sure your needle's not dull, and be sharp for yourself and your sewing. 3 weeks we're doing this. Enjoy. And as always, please leave feedback and share with your friends. I so look forward to our next podcast together.
They can say, they can